Are you thinking about going no contact or just stopping talking to a narcissist and you want to know how they are going to react to that? By the end of this video, I'm going to give you all the exact ways that they will respond when you try to go silent on a narcissist. Hey, so I'm Rebecca, and I am a lawyer, and I am an author, and I am a narcissist negotiation expert. And what I do here on this channel is I help you manage, deal with, and have step by step guidance on how to negotiate with narcissists. So if you are negotiating with narcissists in a business setting or in a family law setting or whatever your setting is, make sure you subscribe to this channel so that you can get notified when I upload new videos. Okay, so let's talk about what happens when you go silent on a narcissist, how they handle that. So it's kind of an ironic thing, by the way, because narcissists, they love to do this to you. But there's a difference, and I want to talk a little bit about that. And I have a whole video on what's the difference between going no contact, silent treatment, and ghosting. And you should definitely check out that video. But I just want to touch on it here briefly because there's a big difference between them ghosting you and you just deciding you want to go no contact because you're doing it to protect yourself. You're doing it to just reduce your exposure to the flames of toxicity. They do it to manipulate you. They do it to drive you crazy. So I do want to say that if you are going to go no contact with a narcissist and, give them the silent treatment in a way, but make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Make sure you're doing it to protect yourself, so that you can start to heal and you won't be triggered as much. And I say this because I don't want you to be triggered, so that you'll be able to negotiate from a place of way less emotion, which will help you tremendously. So don't do it to kind of retaliate or say, oh, they did it, so I'm going to do it. Do it for the right reason. So that's the first thing I do want to say to you about this. And all right, so let's talk about how they handle your silence. Number one is you're going to just get completely overwhelmed with almost like claustrophobic, can't breathe, flooding of every possible way of them trying to overwhelm you with messages. They're going to blow up your phone. They're going to show up at your house. They're going to show up at your office. Boundaries be gone. The reason why narcissists have no boundaries, by the way, is because they believe that people exist to give them that narcissistic supply, and they don't see any difference between you and them. People exist to serve them. And so they feel, that they can just do whatever they want. And so when you try to go silent on them, they will just go insane and they just might go ballistic on you. And all of a sudden, there they are everywhere. And it's kind of a funny thing, frankly, because obviously they probably have done it to you. And when you are questioning it in any way, now you're needy, now you're controlling, now you're just being ridiculous because obviously they were busy, they were at work, they were doing this, that, or the other thing, and they try to turn it on to you like you're the crazy person. But yet when it happens to them, oh my gosh, they just go insane. And they'll just basically, the stuff that'll be in their text messages and their emails will be like a vomiting of every kind of emotion you can imagine. They may go from rage and you are the worst possible disgusting thing that ever walked the earth to, what are you doing? And we, we should be working this out. And I mean, it'll just be a hodgepodge of all sorts of different things. They're just like desperate all of a sudden. And one of the things you need to remember is, even though it's so crazy, they have a tremendous fear of being abandoned. And I remember thinking it's so interesting to me, because I never had to deal with this in a romantic situation, but I did have to deal with it in a business situation. And I remember thinking, like, why would I want to stay in this relationship when you've been horrible to me? But like, they don't see it like that. I mean, somehow they think that they're like getting away with these things. And but they have this tremendous fear of abandonment. And so that gets triggered, and that narcissistic injury will get triggered. And when that gets triggered, that narcissistic rage can come flying out, depending on the type of narcissist you're dealing with, whether it's a covert, a malignant, a regular grandiose narcissist, or whatever it is. It'll come out in different ways, but that's what you're going to see. I mean, it's, they'll just kind of go crazy. So that's the first thing. The next thing is they're going to go back to whatever worked for them before, to get you into their web of things. So love bombing, I'll call it number 2, being love bombing. But it's like there's a whole umbrella of all different types of things that they might do in the love bombing. They might apologize, they might say sorry, if they need to. And if you want to know more about what a narcissist really means when they say sorry, definitely check out my video on that. Because, sorry, not sorry, really, but they use sorry as a means of manipulation. So if they have to say sorry, they might, just to like get you, they might project, deflect, whatever they need to say or do in that moment. If it's been a long time since you've gone silent on them and the relationship appears to be over, they may just pop back up in the form of hoovering. Like, you'll get a little DM into your inbox there, or so like a random text, thought of you today, or maybe send you a song or something like that. I do want to say to you, do not fall for this. Do not fall for this, because, it ain't real. I mean, they do and say what they need to, because they want to get you back into their web of control. So they'll hoover, they'll love bomb, they may future fake. Oh, and the future is going to be different, blah, 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 whatever. Don't fall for it. If you're not falling for it, give me that in the comments. Write that below. Not falling for it. I want to see you write that below. Okay, so the next thing that they will do is they will look for their next source of supply. So while they're still trying to keep you there, they're like trolls. They got to be constantly looking for it. Where is it? The vultures. Where's my next source? And so they'll go and find it somewhere else in the form of another person. And so then this other person now can become a tool that they can use, not only to get supply for themselves, but also to potentially make you jealous. Great form of supply there. Also to use these new people as potentially a good flying monkey. Those coverts, how they love their flying monkeys. Yes, they do. And so they might use it for that, like line them up against you, or, how wronged they've been by you, how horrible you must be. And so therefore the smear campaign comes out at that point. And by the way, the coverts are a little better at the smear campaign because they're so good at like coding it in care. So they, in their faux form of care, so they'll say something like, I'm so concerned about Susie. She's been drinking so much, and I hate to see that, like that. But it's really a smear campaign. They're pretty stealth at that. So that's number three. Number four is that, if it's a malignant or even a grandiose, they might stalk you. Coverts will stalk you too, but in a way where they can really like not get caught. They'll stalk more like your social media or something like that. Whereas, the others might actually like drive past your house or have random things mailed to you or things like that, where you kind of can get a little bit nervous about that. But that's something else that they might do. So be very careful about that. And I do want to say that stalking will sometimes be covered by your local statutes. And so you might be able to get like a temporary order of protection or something like that if you see any sort of stalking. The next one is that they might start to become undone. This is where they start to make mistakes. They start to get nervous and frustrated, and so they start doing all kinds of crazy things, and they up the ante, and they start being a little bit more brazen and not as worried about covering up their behavior. And that's when they start to make mistakes. I have a whole video on the undoing of a narcissist where I actually broke down that show that Hugh Grant is in that's on HBO. And it's really fascinating how he actually, that character was such a great study in what happens on the undoing of a narcissist. So check that out if you're interested. And the last thing is narcissistic collapse. They will literally go crazy sometimes and absolutely, um, you know, fall. And that doesn't happen all that often. And it ain't very pretty, but it does happen sometimes. But that's okay. That is not your responsibility. Do not feel guilty for it. You can't change them. Just namaste and walk away. Keep going. The best thing that you can ever do is wipe them from the CPU of your life. So if you want to learn how to ethically manipulate a narcissist, like by ethically manipulating that manipulator, grab my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet at winmynegotiation.com. And also join me in my free private Facebook group, Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. And if you like this video, give it a like, give it a share it out with your friends, and also make sure you drop me that comment and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And as always, remember that today is a great day to start negotiating your best life. Never give in, never give up. You got this. All right, I'll see you in the next video.